People.
Hello. Here we are. This is funny because I accidentally went live on my account before this, but
We call ourselves social experts.
we're in the right place. Here we go.
Yeah. Should we pour some tea
let's
while we
do
wait
it.
for some people?
I
What are
want
you drinking?
Peppermint,
That's
probably.
you?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Lady Grey. I don't know why that's still in here. Can't tell.
What's the joke with Lady Grey? Like, why don't you want that?
Sounds so boring.
Yeah,
Like, who wants gray tea?
that's true. Gray tea does
We're not
sound
serving
gross.
up gray tea on Tea for Lunch.
No,
you
thank
guys.
you.
I mean, I've already had breakfast, but
Get that English breakfast. Do you mind pouring it?
Having English breakfast for lunch. How about that?
Nice. Well, welcome for Tea for Lunch. Excited to be here. We took a break last week because we were traveling, so now it's exciting to be back. But I do want to give a shout out to Mel and Taina, who absolutely crushed last episode.
I honestly thought I'd be out of a job.
I was so intrigued, and I wish it was longer. They did such a good job, so props to them. And you're going to see a few other people in our team cycle through, so I'm really excited about that. But yeah, it feels really good to be back. How's your week so far?
Yeah, my week's good. I feel like I haven't done that much work. I've been mostly doing calls and meetings and procrastinating, and it's been really great weather here in Calgary. So
Finally.
it's been tempting to just like get outside for a walk or a coffee or things like that. But we got a business to run too.
That's true. I'm having a great week because Kim Kardashian's on the cover of Vogue this month, and I'm just really happy for her. I feel like this is her time and her season to shine in all her glory, and I'm just so happy for her.
That wasn't in the script.
I know, but I just needed to mention it because I noticed it's not in our top 3
I was
stories.
literally saying to Mitzi last night that I am not spending as much time on Instagram because I'm literally just sick of seeing things about Kim and Kanye.
Yes.
And it is sad to see their beef that's happening with just about family stuff.
Yeah.
And then I literally went on Instagram like 2 minutes later to check something, and the first thing I saw was a high snobiety post about Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
So it's true.
I just wanted to mention I'm happy for her to be on the cover of Vogue, but that's all I'll say
Congratulations.
because I just don't want to get into the weeds of that.
She's finally made it. She's on Vogue.
No, she's been in Vogue many times.
Obviously.
Okay, let's get into our stories. You've had your coffee, now it's time for some tea. If you're new here, every week we're going live on Instagram with 3 main stories that you need to know. One will be covering a marketing angle, then 2 others will be around pop culture and just what's going on in the world. We're going live every Thursday at 12:30 Mountain Standard Time, or you can catch it on the podcast streaming networks on Friday mornings.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
should we get into our first story?
I got the first one.
Let's do it.
Super Bowl commercial season is here.
That's
I'm a
right.
big football fan, so I'm excited about the Super Bowl in general, and especially because I've been really following the Cincinnati Bengals this year and Joey Burrow, their young quarterback. I had Jamar Chase, the wide receiver, on my fantasy team, and I won the championship this year, so I got
Yeah.
$1,000 because of him.
Very happy about that.
So I'm really excited that they're going to be in the Super Bowl, and I'm rooting for them over the Los Angeles Rams. I feel like Los Angeles doesn't need anything more to be high on themselves about.
I have not been following football this year, and I'm cheering for the Rams for 2 reasons.
on.
One, to keep our marriage spicy.
No, to spice up tea for lunch.
Secondly, so because I like cheering for the home team. I feel like it's something special to like be in a stadium and your home team win the championship. I just, not that I need LA to be any more prideful, but I think that'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, the Dodgers already won. The Lakers already won.
See, I don't know anything about
the
that,
Rams
but
to win too?
I just think it'd
Anyways.
be fun. And also the coach is like my age, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Okay,
But
wait.
we're not here to talk about the
Yeah.
actual game. We're here to talk about the commercials, which is the most important part of the Super Bowl.
The commercials and the halftime show.
Right.
We're not talking about halftime show today, though.
Why don't you just like, I feel like you need to say something about it.
The commercials?
No, the halftime show.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the halftime show because I know the crowd's going to go crazy when Snoop Dogg sings California. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to be vibing with it, even though I have like no history with California.
West
but
Coast rappers.
I'm just going to be happy for that moment to happen for Snoop Dogg because he's
Yeah.
worked so hard and he thinks himself and he knows he's awesome and just
I
happy
love
for him.
Snoop Dogg because he's a businessman.
And he's funny.
I just saw, this isn't a news story, but he acquired Death Row Records, which is a big move.
Don't know what that is.
But back to commercials. If you're not a football fan, commercials can still be a great, entertaining experience for you. There's a whole variety of different brands and companies that have already released their Super Bowl commercials ahead of time. Because why not get more airtime for that spot that you put millions of dollars into. So Squarespace is an example, and we like Squarespace. We've used it for a lot of our clients. But they, of course, tapped one of the most popular women out there right now, Zendaya, to be a part of their commercial. And she's a business owner. She acts as a business owner selling seashells and all sorts of different accessories and experiences.
And the commercial is narrated by Andre 3000, which is really cool.
That was my favorite part, personally.
Yeah, so that commercial is really great. Any other ones you want to mention?
Yeah, I thought TurboTax was interesting mostly because it was targeting small business owners, and I am a small business owner, and I think taxes can be one of the most intimidating aspects about running your own business. But I think one of the most interesting ones for me right now is DraftKings. It was a great commercial. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. They have the Goddess of Fortune, which is this like new character they've introduced. She's pretty badass. But I think what's interesting to me right now is this year specifically, there's a lot less regulations around advertising betting, sports betting specifically. And the NFL even has a partnership that's related to sports betting. So right now I'm seeing way more content on social, partly because I'm involved in fantasy sports and interested in sports in general. But I think it's just really normalizing and also like glamorizing sports betting. So for some people that have self-control and don't have a problem, that could be an exciting way to just add another dynamic to watching the game or the sport overall. But it also can be a bit of a risk.
Yeah, I think it is pretty risky. I did appreciate that commercial because it has things that I really want in a Super Bowl commercial, which is like an outrageous factor. So in the commercial you'll see this like character jumping out of airplanes, like right on the back of like a motorcycle, like doing all these crazy things. And that's what like I really crave out of Super Bowl commercial. Like give me crazy stunts, give me like crazy like I don't know, explosions, like anything, like make it feel really big, and then give me a celebrity moment. The celebrity moment in that specific DraftKings commercial I did not connect with, but it connects with their audience. I had to actually Google who it was. So I think that was pretty good. But my favorite Super Bowl commercial so far is a BMW one. And it features Arnold Schwarzenegger, which is major throwback. And he plays Zeus. And then it features his wife, Salma Hayek. And she is, well, yeah, I love her. But she's his wife. And they decide to like retire from Greek god life and then move to Palm Springs. And of course, Zeus has a hard time adapting to his new normal as like a normal person and not a Greek god. And so he accidentally like zaps everything with electricity and he's like really struggling. And so Salma Hayek surprises him with a little boost, and that's the all new electric BMW. So I think that was really clever. Had the stunts that I needed, the like outrageous sets, and then the two celebrity moments, which I think is really crucial for a Super Bowl commercial.
I feel like BMW has been just knocking it out of the park. They've always been on top, but they're doing a great job, especially in the last couple of years. And speaking of one of my favorite artists, Joshua Vides, I've seen his social content that he's doing some stuff with the Super Bowl. And he's got some partnerships with BMW and has done some pretty interesting work with them as well.
And it's pretty cool because BMW chose not to advertise in the Super Bowl for the last few years. So I think it's a great return to the biggest advertising weekend of the year.
Welcome
so good
back,
job.
Beamer.
Okay, let's move on to our next stories.
Okay.
Next one is Oscar nominations. So I realized that I have not seen any Oscar movies at all, but the main thing I want to talk about is snubs. So people who did not receive an Oscar nomination. The most notable for me is Lady Gaga. She put her all into House of Gucci. She was not nominated. Same with Leonardo DiCaprio, which is actually not that surprising because he never gets nominated for Academy Awards.
I wonder if the Lady Gaga thing has anything to do with the Gucci family not liking that movie's interpretation. Like maybe they have enough influence that they could say like, don't award that film because it wasn't accurate or something.
I don't know. I don't think they would have that much. I mean, not that Lady Gaga needs another Academy Award, but I just feel like she was so obviously like in character, so much so that I feel like she should have been given a nomination.
Maybe she just is part of the House of Gucci.
She's not.
So.
Next one, Jennifer Hudson. She was also snubbed for her role as Aretha Franklin in Respect. Honestly, I can't see a better match. I know, where's the respect? Frances McDormand, she won last year's Best Actress category, and she did not get nominated for her role in The Tragedy of Macbeth.
Denzel got the nod.
Yeah, I'm happy
He
for
got
him.
the
And also,
attention,
Will
but-
Smith got a nomination for his role in King Richard, and he did incredible. So I'm very
That's one
happy for
movie we
him.
have seen.
I am rooting for him. And then I'm also very conflicted because Beyonce was nominated for her original song as Best Original Song for King Richard. And then my favorite song right now, Dos Arruguitos, got nominated as well. And it's a song from Encanto, and it's the most beautiful song. And I know I've talked to you about it a lot, but that also got nominated in the same category. So I'm very conflicted as to who to root for because I want them both to win, and of course I know they won't. But
Beyonce has nothing to prove at this point, but I think as parents of a 3-year-old who have seen Encanto like 36 times and counting, we may as well cheer for that one.
yeah, but like it's hard not to cheer for Beyonce. Anyways, both amazing songs, and I hope one of them wins.
Me too.
Should we run into the next story?
Yeah, we've talked about Facebook, aka Meta, quite a bit, but we had to talk about this story, which is the fact that their stock has collapsed, and it's actually been one of the largest drops in history. So Meta, their stock plunged 25% this past Thursday, following fourth quarter financial results that were less than amazing.
Mm-hmm.
A big part of it is because of how things have changed with their advertising, because of Apple's data privacy changes with iOS 14 and now 15. So honestly, I think part of it, I think a lot of it has to do with advertising, but I also think part of it is how heavily they're leaning into this whole concept of the Metaverse,
Right.
which is something that doesn't even exist yet.
I don't think we're ready for it.
It's just like an idea in Mark Zuckerberg's head right now. And I know all the NFT and crypto people are going to probably slide into my DMs and yell at me because they feel like the Metaverse is real now. But for the greater public like us, we don't really get it. We don't know how to buy it. We don't know how to use it. And it just sounds a little bit lofty at this point. So
I also noticed that their daily active users dropped by 1.9 billion.
it dropped to 1.9
Oh,
billion.
dropped to 1.9 billion,
But it's still
which is still a
significant
lot.
because it used to be, I think last time I saw a report, I think it was for 2021, it was 2.7 billion daily active users. So that's almost a billion less.
Yeah. And it also, I saw a report that said that a lot of that was because of the competition of other apps, like maybe TikTok, which is giving Facebook a run for its money. And I am not mad about that. I love that there's a bit of competition because Facebook/Meta kind of ruled all social platforms. So I think it's actually, it's not great for stockholders, obviously, but I am happy that the landscape's changing a little bit and there's not this monopoly on social from Facebook.
They are still seeing a pretty heavy adoption of their Reels platform on Instagram, but the fact is that Reels doesn't generate as much income as their advertising platform. So as much as people are still using their features and their tools, there's just not as much revenue to be generated right now.
Right.
Especially because you can't actually buy anything related to the Metaverse.
Yeah.
It's kind of like we just watched The Lorax with our daughter. I know it's not a new movie, but they were so... The part of the movie was that they sell air to people, and I feel like that's what Meta's doing right now is selling air to people, and we just don't understand it, and we just don't need it.
As we were watching that movie, I knew that it hit you different. I was like, why are you so consumed by this movie? But I
That's
see
so interesting.
where you're
Better
going.
late than never.
True. Okay, those are our top 3 stories. Now that we've wet your palate, go eat something more substantial. See you later.
See you next week.